Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom, and Hebrew. Unto the elect of the nation of Israel. So we're starting with 144,000. To the men and the women, the believers, the helpers, every man, woman, and child that believes in Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, that's part of the elect, it's part of the body of the Lord. And through the Spirit, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, this is a never-ending, lasting title. Not everlasting title, sorry. Everlasting thing to be spoken of. The constant reminder as we heading into the horizon of a next lockdown, as we head into the next horizon, to the next phase of this thing of ours. All right. Every event comes with great changes, but the constant change, the constant remains the same. And what is that constant that remains the same? Is Lord one that put the title the way it was told, through the Spirit. Put your spiritual boxing gloves on and spar and get ready to spar with Satan. Something to that effect. I think that's good. So, what do I mean by that? Though we have a lot of things in the outside, prophecies popping like popcorn, certain things that's seeming into the horizon, people that got demons on them and so forth, all these things that we are accustomed to, but the battle that's within ourselves still goes on. This is the battle. This is the battle that we constantly fight. This is the battle that we always got to be alert of. Don't get it caught up into your emotions. Don't get it caught up to your feelings. All right? This is business. It's not personal. Because whatever we going through in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we going through it because of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's the one that's refereeing the whole battle that's going on. Real quick, I'm not gonna make this long. 1 Peter 5:8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant." What do I mean by being sober? Not to be drunk with the things of this world. Now, the scripture always refer wines as different philosophies throughout the scriptures. All right, or a woman, a harlot type woman, because these are the influences of the world. All right, there's a saying in the world. Well, not a saying in the world, but when you drink liquor, it's called spirits. All right, it's not by accident. It's called spirits because it gives you spirit of joy. Depending on the type of liquor that you drink, there's a saying in the world. For some of us, brown makes you mellow, white makes you hype. You got these. There's different terminologies for different liquors because it gives people different effects. All right, but it's not talking about being sober in the sense of not drinking liquor. It's don't get caught up with these things in this world. Be vigilant. How you being vigilant? You got to watch the prophecies. What's being told? What's being said? They're already talking about another lockdown. And we know what this other lockdown was going to happen. What's going to happen is things is going to change for us. It's going to be for the betterment because we know we're closer home. For the world and the people that's we know it's going to change for the worse. All right. So being vigilant is very important. And applying the scriptures with prophecy every single day. These are the important things. It says, because your adversary, so your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So this is the battle that we must consistently battle to keep ourselves on the up and up, to keep our spiritual toes. All right. We fighting a fight beyond the eyes of men. We trying to stay in the right path on a regular day. Emotions always get involved. Things always cross your mind. Spirits always mess with us at all times. All right. Yet we may feel like we have the answer sometimes, yet we may not have the answers at times. But the answer is always the same: prayer, calling upon Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. We don't take L's, we take lessons. What is the lesson beyond, or not beyond, but what is the lesson that's being taught? These are the certain things that we have to look at. It says, whom resisteth steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same affliction are accomplished in in your brethren that are in the world. So we're not going through this battle for dolo. We going to do it together. And we may advise one another, but we all have different separate journeys and different separate battles that other brothers don't. Some brothers have battle of drinking a lot. Some brothers have a battle of not feeling appreciated by the world. That in itself is a battle. You know, we all have our own different battles in this thing of ours. Okay, but we always must understand that there's another force out there that's trying to throw us off our path, trying to throw us off our course, and that is his job. All right, we cannot, like this, man. I must go to that one. Second Ezra 7 and go to the point. 57. It says, then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle. All right, a condition. Let's look up. Well, let's play dumb. What I mean by playing dumb, sometimes you got to use words to the common denominator to understand. All right, to understand, especially what a sentence is being said. Just look sentence. Condition meaning. It said the state of something with regard to its appearance, quality, or work order. Wow, hold on. The state of something with the regard to its appearance. So what is the appearance? Is we fight in, scripture says in Timothy's, we fighting a good fight. So in order to understand, we are at war. All right, we gotta always remember that we are at war, and through the spirit. Sometimes you may feel the spiritual lows. It comes with the package, man. You're gonna feel that low, like like the Lord don't love me at all, and then you're gonna be on Super Saiyan God mode. I was talking to a brother who was talking about that. All right, you may feel that way. You may feel like nothing can stop me. You feel like in that juggernaut spirit. What is that telling you? The highs and the lows. You must constantly fight to maintain that level. You have to keep going, and to get out of that other level, you have to think of another level, and knowing that it's not personal. It's just your turn to go through certain things, but your turn of going through certain things, that doesn't mean that your utter end, your utter destruction. All it means is maybe what lesson have you learned, what things you may change, what things you have to adapt to. And this thing of ours is about growth and adaptation. You adapt to your environment. You adapt to the things that's around you. All right. Yeah, we bitch and moan about the bills are going high and certain things. Yeah, we have every right to, because we in hell. All right, and hell's not gonna be comfortable, but the hell not always hell. All right, sometimes we in a different part of the furnace. It says the circumspection or circumspect affecting the way in which people live or work, especially with regard to their safety or well-being. So these are the conditions of the battle. All right. I just wanted to bring that out. It says, then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle. And what is the condition? What was when you read up, it explains to you. This whole chapter is bad. I'm just going to break it down a little bit. Well, when you start from the beginning, it tells you of, matter of fact, let me just go to it. I'll start at 4. It says, matter of fact, 2. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I come to tell thee. And I said, Speak, O my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great, but put the case to the entrance where narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? All right. And that should remind everybody what the Lord said, that narrow is the way. All right. Which is the straight gate. If you go any other way, it's going to lead to destruction. Roughly paraphrasing. It says, verse 6, there's also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and it's full of good things. So the focal point that goes into the other parable that the Lord spoke of about keep your eyes single. All right. Keep your eyes single. Meaning you have a focal point. And it says the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place. Because the life that we live in and the place that we in the shadow of death. Psalms 23rd chapter explains that. So the shadow of death. So when you break it down, especially how David quoted it, it said that in the valley of the shadow of death, a valley is a low land surrounded by hills. All right. The things that so when the sun is coming up, is a shadow cast over the town or wherever. That's death. That's America. So it's hard to. You gotta stay good. You gotta be in a good state all the time because you're surrounded by death. Everything is equal to death. So this is what we fighting. We fighting every day to maintain ourselves, to maintain who we are, maintain our integrity. All right. It says to set in a dangerous place, like as if they were a fire on the right hand and on the left deep water. So danger, death on one side, danger, death on the other side. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that that there could but one man go through at once. So yeah, we aid each other when it's needed, but a lot of the real battle is us when we're not being seen, when we're doing on our regular, our relationship between us and the Lord. All right, because if we all on the same path going together, yeah, it's good to tell a man, you got to do this, you got to do that, but it's up to that man to do it. All right, and that's what we constantly being reminded. And we got to constantly remind what's out there, who's looking for our fall, who's waiting for our fall, who's waiting for an opportunity to take us off our path. All right. That's why the Lord allowed the adversary to do his thing, because his job is to throw you off your course. His job is to hinder you time to time. All right. Yeah, of course you have to blame him. That's his job. Not to sit there, I love you. No, that's not a purpose. It's not a purpose of an adversary. And that's what this word will tell you. You have to love your enemy. And now you're understanding the full context of that saying. All right. So if the city now were given into a man for inheritance, which the city's talking about, that's talking about the kingdom of heaven. In order to achieve to godship, to godhood, we got to go through this path that is set before us. And we must take those lumps. We must fight. All right. Yasha Allah, our name, all right, whatever's prospective tribe, we have to remind ourselves, total recall again, that we are warriors at the end of the day. Like our forefather Jacob. Jacob fought, he wrestled an angel all night. All right? The angel had to thing his hip to slow him down. Like, yo, enough. So we have to have that warrior type spirit. I'm paraphrasing. It's Genesis 30. I believe it's Genesis 32. I'm not gonna get. I just wanted to just get the picture. That's the only way that the angel had to stop us. Our forefather. All right. So we're by our natural in our natural state of fighters. We have to keep fighting no matter what the situation is. All right. I wanted to bring out. Let me see. Yeah, sorry. It says, if the city now were given unto a man inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So how are we gonna say that we are the prince of God if we didn't go? What the hell? If we're not going through what the Lord put us through, all right? The Lord is justifying. I don't know what the hell they did that for. The cause of giving us the kingdom. All right, we're fighting to be in His good graces. We fighting, period. Real quick, something that popped in my head. I've read in a while. Job 4:16. Where is it further down? Now it's Job 4:12. Now a thing was secretly brought to me Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and my ear received a little thereof. And thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on man, fear came upon me. This is Job going through his ish, right? Going through what he was going through. It says, fear came upon me and trembled, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face, and the hair of my flesh stood up. So, yeah, Job seen a spirit. All right? Job seen an actual spirit. Spirits mess with the men of the Lord. This proves it right here. Okay? In case you didn't know, thought this coming into this thing of ours was going to be all hunky-dory. It doesn't get no better as you get older. But this is part of the battle. All right. It says, verse 16, and stood still, but I could not discern. So he couldn't figure out this form. It says, the form thereof, an image was before mine eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, shall a mortal man be more just than the Most High? Shall a man be more pure than his Maker? Because Job was questioning, bitching and moaning and complaining about his situation, but not understanding what the Lord's purpose was. All right? And this is how we all get. I mean, hey, let's be real, Let's be real for ourselves for once. When shit happens, we bitch. We complain. Sometimes it's deserved. Sometimes it's just a test. Sometimes, none of us are walking around innocent. We're just going through the cycle of what the Lord wants us to go through. All right? Because remember the story of Job. It wasn't saying that said, I want to pick on this guy. It was the Lord that decided, like, yo, go and check this guy out. All right. So the more problems we have, like the saying, more money, more problems, some shit like that. Well, the more you do good, the more, or you're doing right, the more those spirits want to mess with you. All right. It's just the way it is, man. It says, verse 18, behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels are charged with folly. It's talking about the Most High, man. All right, that should show you he charged them with folly, bro. So the angels, as dreadful as they are, right, left, so they folly in the sight of the Lord, man. Okay. Let me just get this one. I'm gonna end it off. It says Ephesians 6:11. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Wiles in the Greek means metida or metido. I don't know how to pronounce it. Something in the form of method. All right, which means trickery. So the devil's here, the demons are here to throw you off your course by tricking you, by, like that movie Nefarious. The guy was having a back and forth conversation with the doctor, and what did he say? He said, we constantly, test people, and then through their constant testing, they eventually, if they find an opening, they go in. So it's their job to mess with us. All right, that's their job. That's showing that the Lord is something to be feared, man. Greatly to be feared. Can't get big-headed. We just gotta stay humble, and may the Lord guide us. All right, may Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua guide us, which He is guiding us. And that's the way of. Oh, it says I was just in Job too. It says, where is it in Job? What I'm thinking about, 14. Let me get that real quick. Right hand. That's a long shot. No, it's not. Job. Yep. 30. No, I'm sorry. Job 23:9. It says, matter of fact, I started 8. It says, behold, I go forward, but he is not there. Backwards, but I cannot perceive him. Right? It says, on the left hand, where he doeth work, but I can't behold him. He hide himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. So the Lord, He controls both sides of the fence. So most of the times the Lord will use the left hand to push you to the right, to keep you on your path, to keep you on your course, which gives me this precept coming out. Proverbs 3:5. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not in thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So the Lord is directing our paths. Okay? So that means what? You got to give everything towards the Lord, as let him guide you in your steps. All right? Let him guide us. That's what he does. At the end of the day, is the Lord is making us, molding us how he wants us to be. All right? So be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. So, where was I? Oh, let me go back to Ephesians 6:11. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, which is what? Demons. All right? Against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. And who's the ruler of darkness of this world? Esau, Edom. Put obstacles in our way. You notice as the times are getting tighter and tighter, I can speak for myself. I'm getting strange phone calls every single time, and most likely it's from some debt creditor, just to add to my affliction. Okay? Because this world works on oppressing us. And so the scripture says in Daniel's 7th chapter, that they wear out the saints. All right, and we being worn out. We being worn out physically, but this wearing out is sparking out our spirit more and more, because it's doing is pushing us more and more, praying to the Lord, asking the Lord to fuel our spirit. All right, because that the flesh is dying. It says, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. So all this is the preparation for that evil day, which is the ultimate evil day, is the hour of temptation. All right. So everything is a prelude to something bigger, a bigger stage just being set up abroad. The Lord is not sending us to something that we're not familiar with. So he's prepping us. All right, he's prepping us for the next level of thing, so that when the day of evil comes about, that you have this within you, and having done all, to stand. So going through all the shit we're going through, that when that time comes, that we will stand. That, like the scripture says, because that kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. It says stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth. Hey, what's his name? It's a movie, but Scarface says, all I have is my words and my balls. And our word is supposed to be truth. This is what we're standing on. All right. It says, and having the breastplates of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. So we have to run with this. Not sit on it. Run with it. Stand. Run. All right. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So shield, sword, armor, that's a battle. That's a man that's prepared for battle. It says, and take the helmet of salvation. So where you put the helmet? On your head. So having in mind of I'm fighting for salvation. And the sword of the Spirit, which meaning you can defend yourself. And how we defend ourselves, we defend it with the scriptures. We defend ourselves with the word of the Lord, which is the word of the Most High. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all preservationness and supplication for all the saints. So not only are we attending to our spiritual battle, we also attend to others as well. Because yes, it's selfish. We are all working for our own salvation, but our attendance also is to work and help the next man, because that gives us more spiritual strength. All right. So with that, like I said, something real quick to the Spirit. Don't want any of your brothers to edify. Shalom to the elect, the nation of Israel. Shalom.